It's been a long day. I'm gonna start backwards. First of all, Noreen, we will be coming back out, looking at that site, looking at some of those other houses. There is an issue, and we don't have enough people in our building department at this moment to be able to cover everything and everyone. But the conditions that I did see and that I took the pictures of, we will be attending those matters, addressing those matters, and we will continue to go forward. Like I said, I will also visit many other properties. I don't have a problem with going into the homes and seeing exactly what's going on to be able to report it back to the building department, so this way we can get some action on it. Because some of the things I saw, I don't believe anybody should be living like that. Especially paying that kind of amount of money is ridiculous when you have to have your stove on 24/7 and keep heating it. You know, and your shower has holes inside the ceiling and it's coming down water from the next floor. Doesn't make any sense to me. So we definitely got to crack down on a lot of that behavior and landlord abuse. That's what I call it. Donnie Griper, I think it is. Basically, is he still here? No, okay, yes, he left. And is Tamia still here? She left for the music school. I think that the music school is a valuable asset to our community. I grew up myself doing a lot of music. That was my whole thing. For 20 years I was in the music business, traveling the world and all those different things, as a musical director, accomplished musician, dancer. So I was able to do a lot of things, and that gave me a lot of knowledge, gave me a lot of insight, gave me an opportunity to travel the whole entire world and work with some of the great people. This is something that we need to balance our children with. A music school in Mount Vernon where we can have our youth go as an after-school program is necessary. For me, I don't understand why anybody would veto that. So, for me, I would look forward to making sure that we have a music school in Mount Vernon. The children deserve it. And if we're going to talk the talk, we got to walk the walk. It's got to be all the way around for all the children in all different aspects, whether it's for sports, it should be for music, it should be for dance, it should be for arts. We need to instill that, especially when we don't have it in our schools. So this is something that I'm very passionate about, and I look forward to working with them and making sure that they obtain their goals and try to get this school open. Samuel Rivers, who left, we're going to leave that for someone else. Lat George, we will be looking into a lot of that stuff. We did issue letters regarding your situation that we already seen with the water department car and those complaints. I spoke to the council. We addressed that last night again. So we will be sending out more letters and try to figure out how we're going to handle this situation, because yes, they should not be driving that car across the Tappan Zee Bridge, especially after the controller had made it clear that the insurance does not cover anybody that goes out of the boundaries. So that is also reckless, and that's a problem. That is something that we have to stop, and we have to work on working on those kind of reckless behaviors. Damon Jones, yes, we will look into the CCRB. We will be working on it. I have the pleasure to work with Councilman Edwards on that, so we're going back and forth. And Commissioner Kelly, I thank you for being involved in this and engaged in this whole process. That's going to, definitely help us to work out all of the different situations and, kind of look at from each side, from the civilian side, from the police side. Maybe we can come together with a great balance of policies that can address this situation. So I look forward to working with you continuously, and Councilman Edwards will try to come along with something and Daniel Jones, we look at the stuff that you submitted also to try to incorporate that to make sure we have a strong policy, because there's no reason that anybody should go into somebody's house, pull them out into the street in their underwear and pajamas, and then say, we got the wrong house, and not even say sorry and walk away. That's something that we have to look at also on how we can address that. Hopefully, Commissioner Kelly, we can speak about that and somehow put some closure to that, because I think that maybe they're just looking for apologies or something, so maybe we can do that. Regarding Donnie Moore, I did look into that. I've taken your stuff as far as I can go. It's now where I think you have to deal with the legal department and the mayor's office on that particular issue. I tried to get a lot of the paperwork. I was not able to get it. So I think that's something that I think you guys should take over the legal department. And from there, I don't know how or what's going to happen next. I try to intervene to make sure that, you know, we can handle this without lawsuits and everything else. But, you know, I think that's where it's going. That's where it might have to stay or end up. So that's something that I say that you would have to take up with the legal department, or your attorney would have to take up with the legal department.
I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. And Mike, I think he left. Where's he at? I co-chair the fire department, and I will talk to Councilman Edwards, you know, because we should not be, I've always said the same thing. I want to make sure that all the firemen have all the proper equipment that they need. So we have to, I know the situation because I spoke to you guys for a couple of years already now about these different things. And it's ridiculous on how we have to order parts from this chest and tell them, fake it like they're buying it to send it to us because nobody wants to give us the credit or give us the parts. So we have to come out and really sit down and have some dialogue on how we can do that. Sit with you guys, sit with Deputy Commissioner Richardson as well, and Councilman Edwards, and we got to come up with a plan on how we can tackle this kind of thing. Because one thing I know is you can't do an excellent job if we didn't give you excellent equipment to work with. You're only as good as your equipment. So I know that for a fact. You know, in my industry, you know, I got to make sure my guys got the right tools to do the right job. We have to make sure you have the right tools and equipment to do the right jobs. So that's a dialogue we should be talking about on how we can maintain that and keep it going, because I don't understand how it's falling apart or how this can happen. But I'm curious to find out.
Thank you for addressing the issue.
Okay. And the rest regarding the soup kitchen as well. I did look at the soup kitchen. I did vote for the soup kitchen. I've worked and visited the soup kitchen when it was over there on Fifth Avenue as well. I think we still have to have some kind of responsibility to feed some of the folks and the seniors and the youth that can't do it for themselves. It is, to me, you know, and I don't live that far from there as well, but I don't feel bothered about that particular soup kitchen. I'm not worried about my values. As Mount Vernon continues to grow, my own values are going to grow as well, and I think we're doing well and with a lot of developments that's coming down the road. But for me to look at that particular thing and to say that we should not offer people with families that can't do for themselves and take away an opportunity to be able to give that to the community would be really, you know, a disservice to our community. There are a lot of us that are fortunate enough to be able to go home and know that there's something there to eat, but there's many of us that don't. You know, I can look at it in the sense I grew up with 5 brothers, all boys, so 6 of us all together. Even though my mother and father had great jobs, there was a lot of us, but there were times when it was hard, when my father got laid off and other things, so I know what that's like. It's not always, that everything was always good and great. And we have to look at that. We have to understand that there are people out there that will run into hard times. And it's not going to only be those that are homeless. We have seniors that cannot. I stood here and sat here and listened to Joy Nimhart talk about she went to somebody's house, opened up the senior's house, and there's not anything in the refrigerator or anything around. What do we do about those folks? And then we have to think about it. One day that can be one of us. Some of us can fall on hard times at any time. So we have to look at those kind of things. And for me, I voted for the soup kitchen, and I stand by my vote of the soup kitchen. And from there, that's all I have, and I will pass it on. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't think there...
Excuse me, Mr. Long, this is not the time to respond.
Okay.
So you had your time to speak, this is the council's opportunity. Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Roberta Puzo.